Hello viewers, welcome to new video. Our today's topic is human brain. As we all know, humans are the only thinking beings in the universe. Our neural system is made up with spinal cord and brain. Spinal cord is made up of nerves which transmit impulse or information, and brain culture it in the form of coordination. So, spinal cord and brain together they formed central nervous system or CNS. They receive information from all the body parts and integrate it or culture it or program it, and thus our muscles is performed according to our wish or sometimes not according to our wish, which we known as involuntary muscles such as heart muscle. It can't move according to our wish. As I said before, our CNS or central nervous system is made up with brain and spinal cord. Here, spinal cord and brain together they form central nervous system or our CNS. It collects all the information from the body parts and then integrate the information. Here, brain is the main coordinating center of our body. From the CNS, through the integration, the information pass to our body parts by peripheral nervous system. So now we discuss about peripheral nervous system. Our peripheral nervous system is evolved by two types of nerves. First one is cranial nerves and second one is spinal nerves. Now what is cranial nerves? Cranial nerves are those nerves which are evolved from brains and they are 12 pairs in number. But the spinal nerves are evolved from spinal cord and they are 31 pairs in number. They together form peripheral nervous system through which from CNS integrated information or programmed information passes to our other body parts or other muscles. So you have to remember the numbers and the evolved center of these two nerves, cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Now the different parts of human brain. We perform different works in our lifetime, such as reading, writing, laughing, running, etc. They are all voluntary works, means which we performed according to our wish. And these works performed by muscles. But after receiving signals from brain, our brain and its different parts are performed different specialized works. Now, our brain is actually divided into four chambers, but the main parts of brains are forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Here, forebrain is the main thinking part of brain. We have to understand the part forebrain from the figure. This is a diagram of brain. Now, where the forebrain is situated? This part, the fore part of brain is known as forebrain. Forebrain consisting thalamus. This structure is known as thalamus. Hypothalamus. This portion is known as hypothalamus. And this, that is pituitary gland, which is regulated by hypothalamus. And the shortest endocrine gland of our body. This thalamus, hypothalamus and pituitary gland together form forebrain. thalamus, this portion, hypothalamus, this portion, and pituitary gland. They together form forebrain. Forebrain receives impulse or information from different receptors. Separate areas of forebrain are specialized with hearing, smelling, or sighting. After culturing all the information, it makes a decision, which is the result of thinking and decide how to respond against it. Now, what is the functions of forebrain? Firstly, control body temperature, thirst, hunger, and hormone regulation by hypothalamus. It is the function of hypothalamus, which is a part of forebrain. And sleeping, awakening, etc. are regulated by thalamus. This is also a part of forebrain, and we all know pituitary gland is responsible for the secretion of different types of hormones, which is essential for our body, such as STH, ACTH, growth hormone. ACTH full form adrenocorticotropic hormone. STH full form somatotropic hormone. Growth hormone, luteinizing hormone, they are all secreted from pituitary gland. So here is the function of forebrain. Now we have to come to midbrain. Midbrain is just a connection between forebrain and hindbrain. So from the diagram we have to notice where midbrain is situated. As I say, midbrain is the connection between forebrain and hindbrain. So here midbrain is situated, and its function is controlling the involuntary actions, means which we can't control according to our wish. It is the main function of midbrain, which is the connection between the forebrain and hindbrain. Now what are the involuntary action? They are breathing, salivation, they are controlled by midbrain. Now hindbrain. Hindbrain is divided into three parts. First one is pons, second one is medulla, and third one is cerebellum. Now we have to understand it through figure. So here is the hindbrain. This yellow portion, which I colored with yellow color, this is pons. The green portion, this is medulla, and this flower-like projection is known as cerebellum. So what is the function of pons? Pons control the excretion of urine and heart pump mechanism. Next comes to medulla. Medulla controls our blood pressure, vomiting tendency, salivation, and then cerebellum. Cerebellum controlled, just think that we have to pick a pencil from the floor, or riding a bicycle, or posture of the body, which is maintained by the cerebellum. Mainly it helps to balance our body properly. These functions actually performed by midbrain and hindbrain collectively, but hindbrain has a special feature to maintain our body structure or body mechanism. If any function is disrupted or malfunction occurred in brain, then our whole body mechanism is disrupted. Any of the mechanism, means any mechanism of forebrain, any mechanism of hindbrain, or any mechanism of midbrain is disrupted or malfunctioned, then our body not performed its works properly. So it is the main coordinator center of our body. Every part of our body is well protected with specialized coverings, and brain is not an exception. Now it is the time when we have to concentrate on some protective parts of our brain. Still now we read about some mechanism of brain or some parts of brain, but now we have to know the some protective parts of our brain. Which are the first one is cranium. Cranium is nothing but a bony box in which brain is covered. Now meninges. Meninges is a three membranous envelope which covers brain and spinal cord. The three membrane names are dura mater. It is the outer layer of the membrane. Then arachnoid matter. And third one, I write it here, that is pia matter. Concentrate at the spelling of matter. It is not M-A-T-T-E-R, it's M-A-T-E-R. So dura matter is the outer covering or outer layer. Pia matter is the inner layer. And in between outer and inner layer, there is one more layer, that is arachnoid matter or arachnoid layer. These are the three membranous structure of meninges which covers the brain and spinal cord. Cranium only covered the brain, but meninges covered both brain and spinal cord. Next comes to CSF or cerebrospinal fluid. It's a clear, viscous, colorless body fluid found in brain and spinal cord. It's also protective feature of both brain and spinal cord. Function of cranium, meninges and CSF are more or less same. They are all for the protection of brain from the external shock. Only CSF supply nutrition to brain and excrete the excreta from the brain. It performs both the protective feature and also function as nutritious material and also function as excretory mechanism. Cranium and meninges only protecting in nature, but CSF has multifunctional body, that is protection, nutrition supplying and excretory mechanism. Now a question comes, how does the nervous tissue cause action? Means how they perform their work. Firstly, they transmit stimulus from one place to another very rapidly in our body. Next, the stimulus or information goes to CNS or central nervous system. Then central nervous system integrate the stimulus, which we discussed before at the starting of our discussion. Then it is processed and goes to muscles in the form of impulse. We collect the stimulus. It is integrated in CNS and then it formed impulse which goes to muscles. Then according to impulse, muscles worked out or it allows the muscles to move, and this impulse is sent to muscles by peripheral nervous system, which is the composition of spinal nerve and cranial nerve. So here is the flowchart of how nervous tissue cause action. Here it is. If you have any problem, then ask me in comment section. Thank you.